Welcome to the MDV Plus One VTC. Welcome to Module 2. Hope you guys enjoyed Module 1 and all of the exclusive content that's there. Module 2 is non-exclusive content. So let's talk about each of the sections. We only have 3 of them. The first section is Edge Weapons Familiarization. This is actually a module that I would suggest people watch first, especially if they don't have a background in that topic. First chapter is mindset, second chapter is fundamentals, and third chapter is basics. What I'm doing is I'm covering a generic overview of picking up any knife, any edge weapon, and being able to have resident skill and understanding of how to use it. And so we start with mindset because, once again, mindset is more important than physical skills. And so if you're going to carry an edge weapon or a knife as a tool, okay, what type of mindset do you need to walk into it? And then when violence happens, how are you going to make sure that you are doing the most appropriate things to get yourself home safe to your family? Then we talk about fundamentals. Once again, fundamentals are the skills and knowledge that you're going to need so that I can build upon them for basics, where we start talking about more complex scenarios, such as utilizing an edge weapon in scenarios that are unarmed to begin with, and then they become more violent, and then you have to upgrade. I understand that ground fighting, combative sports, a lot of times people try to go to instructors that are specialized in that area. But one of the things that happens is if they don't actually have mastery in a multitude of different ranges and weapons and, you know, you know, uh, training environments or personnel such as civilians and law enforcement and military, the answers that you get from them may not exactly be the best. So what I did was I focused on, what are some grounded skills that I feel are most important if you are carrying the MDV. And so I go over everything from getting off the ground properly, the strategy behind that, my principles that I apply directly to that. I also talk about, accessing your weapon on a failed takedown. So even though you want to stay on your feet, sometimes that's not possible. And so how do you position yourself to automatically get the advantage, because the takedown is more than likely going to occupy both of their arms for them to successfully drive you into the ground, which provides an opportunity for you to draw your weapon. And then I go over inferior positions and a number of different escapes from each of them. So we talk about side control, we talk about mount. I believe in both of them. I give at least 3 different ways to nullify their control and then get yourself to a position that allows you to access the MDV. I also talk about the guard position and then a number of different things as far as training and what you should be focusing on. And so I hope you guys enjoy that section, but that is a course, it's a very small course that I included with this virtual training course because I felt that without it, some people would be lost in module 1. Section 2 is MDV Care. This is 3 chapters long. The first one is customization. I did a video on YouTube that covers wrapping the MDV utilizing a brand of tape called Monkey Tape. Over the last year or so, I got questions on, hey, what about this brand? What about that one? Are there other ways to, tape the handle for different goals? And so what I wanted to do was create a longer video on various aspects of customization and why you should spend time on it and why you should probably try different strategies and the various ways to go about that. And so once again, this is one of those mindset things. I feel that if you're going to carry an edge weapon to save your life or someone else's life, then you should have enough time and thought into that tool that you feel that that tool is something that is yours. It's personalized. The whole there are many like it, but this one's mine kind of thing. You can't do that if all you do is just buy a blade and then carry it and you don't even put any consideration into it. So I have added some features to the MDV that force you to think about how you're going to use it, in which case it builds customization. I also talk about, say, the rhino sheath and a way to fix or substitute the Ranger bands. So some people don't like the fact that the Ranger bands may wear out or they get cut sometimes. So I show a different fix for that. I also will cover the soft loop options. This is something that you will have to purchase separately on Amazon, but it is how I carry the MDV in a horizontal carry with the flat sheath. I feel it is one of the best ways to utilize this flat sheath, and it is super comfortable. Moving on to maintenance, me and Craig sit down and we talk about the preferred way to clean a blade after you've used it, however you've used it. I won't even get into that. But the thing is that people seem to not understand that you have to take care of the tools that you carry on a regular basis and the tools that you utilize on a regular basis. So after use, you should take a look at everything and see how do I need to clean it. If I need to clean it, do I need to oil it? What oils are best? What we prefer? What about expensive things that you can buy that are supposedly specific to blades? How Craig thinks about that as the owner of Skallywag, and we go over a bunch of different topics like that. Chapter 8 is a chapter that a lot of people are going to be interested in. That is how to sharpen the MDV. Like I said previously, that is a 45 plus minute conversation between me, Javen, and Craig, where we utilize multiple different sharpening stones, honing rods, stuff like that. And what Javen does is he shows us exactly how to use those items from a beginner level to intermediate to advanced, and he shows some tricks of the trade on how to maintain the proper angle. And well, me and Craig just basically throw questions at him in that section. And so I know a lot of people are going to find that interesting. I also cover and talk about the stones that are actually being used there because I bring them to Javen, and you'll be able to find them for yourselves. They are not that expensive, but I know a lot of you consistently ask how to sharpen the MDV because the blade design is more unique than the average knife, and it is a chisel grind, and a lot of people are not used to that grind. All right, so section 3 is Q&A. So even though you could take the common questions that people have and answer them by finding the appropriate section and chapter within the virtual training course, what I wanted to do is dedicate an entire section to just that, the common questions, the common comments that people have, and our responses to it. A conversation between me and Craig where if the question pertains to, say, manufacturing, or a difference in the packaging or the color of the trainer, something like that, it falls under Skallywag's wheelhouse. And so obviously Craig would be most appropriate to answer those questions or comment on them. And then anything that focuses on mindset, technique, application, using the MDV, what have you, that fell under my answer. So there was a lot of questions that came up in videos, whether that be on YouTube or sent to us through email, that pertain to mindset more than anything else. And so I took those questions and threw them into chapter 8. Now, me, Chris Trisko, and Jimmy Terrell all comment on them because Chris can talk from a military background. He is a retired PJ, so he worked with AFSOC. And Jimmy Terrell has an extensive background in law enforcement as well as an extensive martial arts background. And then obviously a lot of the questions pertain to the MDV and the use of it and what I suggest. And so anything that was mindset related fell into this chapter. This is a long conversation between us because we go into detail. We hit a bunch of different topics that are close to whatever the comment is or the question. I feel like a lot of people are going to be interested in that chapter. And that concludes module 2. So as you could probably tell, everything that is directly in there does fall under questions or interests that other people would have about the MDV or skill sets that have been requested for training. But because of the importance of them and the frequency of requests, I knew that at some point I would have to release some of this content, and so I put it in its own module. So once again, that's why module 2 is called non-exclusive content. I hope you enjoyed this module, and once again, send me any feedback that you have on it, anything that you want me to elaborate on. We spent as much time on the topics as we could without making it just ridiculously long. So I look forward to hearing from you. All right, welcome to Module 3. This is our bonus content. There are 4 videos here. These are just videos I didn't believe fall into any of the other modules or the chapters or what have you, but they would be entertaining or good information. The first video is how to build your own training dummy. I bought one off of Amazon, and then I bought other materials, and so me and a few of the other guys spend time to actually build one out, and we use it in some of the videos. I knew that people were going to ask, okay, what is that training dummy, and how do you make it and all that type of stuff. So we created an entertaining video because I'm sure that the best way to actually build that thing out was not the way that we did it. So that is the first video. The second video is how to upgrade your MDV trainer. So if you buy one of the blue MDV trainers or have one of the older red ones, I take the packaging out of the box that the MDV comes with, and I show you how to create a padded trainer. This is important if you want to increase the intensity of your training with training partners, or you want to use them on, say, training bags that you don't want to puncture. There are many videos that we probably consider bloopers where I am using the actual trainer and I stab it in the bob, and that is a complete accident. What I did was I spent a little bit of time, showed you guys how to make a safer trainer so that you don't have to worry about damaging expensive or valuable equipment. And that leads us into the third video, which is the MDV meat cutting demo. Some of you have asked in the past for us to utilize the MDV in the same fashion that I've done some of the Skallywag videos, where I take meat and I place it into a t-shirt and I hang it up, and then I show you the kind of damage that can be done by the blade with minimal effort. So the fourth video is how to properly apply a tourniquet and various ways to create a modified tourniquet if you don't have one on you. So Chris Trisko video covers a little bit of that because he specializes in those skill sets, and I believe that that is a very important life-saving skill, and that you should have medical equipment available to you as a normal EDC thing. So I thought that was a good video to end the course with. Now that concludes Module 3. Module 3, once again, bonus content. If any of the content there, such as the medical aspects for the tourniquet, or you want a more in-depth meat cutting demo or something like that, once again, just shoot those requests or the feedback over to us, and I'll do my best to elaborate or create longer videos on it. Once again, that bonus content was nothing more than me just trying to provide a little bit more value and just kind of show you, various ways to create your own training apparatus, or make sure that you have a better trainer, or to show you the damage that the MDV can do. So I hope you enjoyed that.